I need something new to listen to. Perfect. I'll check here. Let's see. No. I've heard that one. No. God, no. Wait, what's this? It's not liquor. I think I'll try it. Man, that was a really good album. This album's not that old. I wonder if they got any more stuff. Don't you just hate when this happens? You find a good band, you find some good music, it's brand new, too. Just to come and find out they broke up because, Timmy couldn't make practice or whatever because his grandma had the flu, so they decided, that was it, we're done. Well, that's what we're going to be looking at today, is 5 bands that broke up, or died, in this case, too early. And at number 5, we have Fight the Fury with Still Breathing. It might look familiar to some of those who listen to Skillet, as this was John Cooper's side project that he was working on back, I want to say, in late 2018, maybe late 2019. This was his way to go back, as he claimed, to Skillet's heavier roots, or their beginning, to where they played smaller venues and stuff like that. And at the time, it was a way to give Skillet fans heavier music, because at the time, Skillet sounded pretty much like your standard, like Imagine Dragons stadium anthem. So it was announced that Fight the Fury was kind of a return to the more metal side. And that was cool. I liked this when I first heard this album, especially My Demons. I was like, whoa, John Cooper can actually sing like this? This is great. EP dropped, and I liked it. My favorites probably being, of course, the title, My Demons, and then Dominate Me, which is kind of weird if you think about it. But I'm not going to go into that. The fans were clamoring for more music, and it was like, so when are we going to get a new album? John was doing shows. He even toured. He kind of pulled like a Corey Taylor, where Stone Sour and Slipknot were doing shows. So he did like Fight the Fury with Skillet. I don't remember what tour that was, but yeah. Fans waited for a while. We were thinking maybe we were going to get something. Like say maybe mid 2020. But we all know what happened there. Nothing came from this band. We waited and waited, and nothing. No word, no official post going, hey, we're just taking a break. And John Cooper, I want to say in like other interviews with his the people who interviewed him, or like podcasts or whatever, he kind of like brushed it off to the side. He claims that when COVID-19 hit, that it was kind of a like a pausing point for the band. They're like, okay, we know this virus going around. We can't really do anything. Can't do shows. So we're just going to kind of put this on the back burner. But yet continues on to go make possibly the worst Skillet album I've ever heard, Dominion, where he basically whines and cries about being oppressed and COVID-19. So yeah, there's that. I want to say that it's weird because it's like this is such a silly thing to take a break over. Like, yeah, a lot of bands took a break to kind of isolate themselves from COVID, or keep help the not let the disease spread. Um, so the fact that he kind of just was like, yeah, we're gonna put it on the back burner, tells me something that it's kind of like. To me, it's kind of like when you start over in a video game after beating it, and you realize it's like, oh man, I kind of got to go through all of these again. I got to go through this and that, and then you just go back to playing your original profile. It's kind of like that. That kind of feels like what happened here. So, and considering that the last official post from Fight the Fury's social media account on Instagram was from like I want to say like February of 2020. No, even then I think it was like 2019. They haven't posted anything since then. John and Seth are going back toward they're doing full scale Skillet stuff. I don't know what happened to the drummer and the other guy. I think one of them's in another band right now, performing for pop rock artist Colton Dixon, who's another Christian contemporary artist. But it seems to me that the band has died. That's it. They're done. Considering they haven't posted anything since 2019, it's been at least 6 years. Every time somebody tries to bring up Fight the Fury, John either avoids the question altogether or just kind of brushes it off going, oh yeah, there might be a small chance we get back together. But considering there's been no official word, I think it's pretty safe to assume that Fight the Fury is dead. Alright, at number 4, we have We As Human, another hard rock, heavy metal outfit, Christian band from, I want to say either Arkansas or Tennessee. But I found this group in Lifeway Christian bookstores when those still existed. And I never heard of them before. And, they looked pretty good. And I was getting into harder rock and heavy metal then, during that time. So I picked up their album, went home and listened to it, and I liked it. It was pretty good. Everything sounded great. The band sounded awesome. Production was top notch. Everything was great. I think that was around, I want to say 2012. And I listened to the album for a little while, and I was like, oh, when is the next album going to come up? This is great, some great stuff. And come to find out, the band had broken up. And I didn't find that out until I went onto Wikipedia, because I was following the band on my socials at the time. And last post from them was about selling some equipment, like drum sets and stuff. And I didn't hear anything from them for a long time. There was no new single, no new announcements. So yeah, when I looked them up on Wikipedia, come to find out they had broken up. Now the reason why they broke up is even more hilarious. This Christian band, this band with morals, and apparently the lead singer did not have enough of them to keep it zipped up. So yeah, you heard that right. The band broke up because their lead singer was having an extramarital affair. And that's a big no-no in the Christian world. So yeah, they decided that it was kind of against what they stood for. And so they decided to split up. I do believe that some of the other members go by a different name. I don't remember who it is. And because they don't perform under We As Human anymore because the lead singer owns the rights to that name. So they decided to go under a different label. And so yeah, they broke up because lead singer couldn't keep it zipped up. And looking back on it now, it's kind of obvious. Like in their EP, they have a song called Double Life. And it's kind of it kind of has this undertone about cheating. So kind of hard to listen to that song now. But yeah, maybe they'll forgive and forget and do like a reunion type of like get, you know, reunion type thing. But considering that was so long ago, it's been like, I want to say since 2016, it's safe to assume that that's not going to happen. We as Human is dead. Alright, and number 3, we have Family Force 5, yet another Christian outfit from Atlanta, Georgia this time. Family Force 5 is a crunk rock, or crunk band as they label themselves. Basically think MSI from Temu. So yeah, Family Force 5 was a band that I discovered again around the time that the Christian bookstore Lifeway, or yeah, was still around. And I liked them. They were pretty cool. I love their song Supersonic. I think my youth leader got pretty tired of me playing that song every Sunday morning. But hey, you got ADHD and autism. What are you gonna do? So I got their album Business Up Front, Party in the Back, which is the album that you just heard the song from, and that definitely had a heavier metal sound to it. It was just a multiple fusion of like different genres. You had rock, rap, hip hop, metal. So it was a good blend, and you know, of course, growing up in a Christian home, that was good, positive stuff for me to listen to. I got more and more into the band, listened to different albums, and there was a point in time when the band kind of, I don't think took a hiatus, but pretty much just stopped for a second, because their lead singer, who was known as Soul Glow Activator, pretty much left and started, because he wanted to really do production and stuff like that. So he left. He kind of retired as like their lead singer, and so the lead vocal position went to his brother. Crouton is his name. I don't remember his real name, but his name is Crouton, or stage name is Crouton. And they developed what was essentially the last Family Force 5 album, Time Stands Still. And that album really, I liked it back then, but it really deviated from the sound that Family Force 5 that I came to know and love from Family Force 5. So it was more pop centric. It was softer, which is fine. Not every band used to sound or stay the same, but it really deviated from what I knew Family Force 5 to be. And the album itself wasn't really bad. It was just more middle of the road. But then after that album, I think they dropped an EP, and then come to find out more members of the band had left to pursue their own things, whether that was personal or other projects. So it basically just left the Olds Brothers, as their real names are. It just left the Olds Brothers, two of them, the last two of them, to kind of take over the band. I think they perform under the name FF5 now, but again, that was like 2016 or 17, somewhere in there, and nothing has really been heard from the band since. So it's kind of safe to assume that Family Force 5 is dead, just from the fact that nothing else from this band has popped up since then. So, rest in peace, Family Force 5. I'm gonna miss you. Alright, at number 2, we have Strangled, heading more into the extreme side of metal. I don't remember where Strangled is from, but I do know that you thought Knocked Loose was heavy? let me tell you, son, you ain't heard nothing yet. I tell you, Brian Garris has nothing on that lead singer. So, Strangled. What happened? They're a deathcore outfit. They're doing moderately successful, I would say. And then they released a couple EPs. I think they released a full-length album, self-titled. And then they did like a dual album with Pint Glass, I think it was. And then they just subsequently went quiet. From what I understand, Strangle split up because I don't know. I think the band members had a disagreement with each other. There was some inner turmoil within the band, and that's never a good thing. You know, when you're fighting with your bandmates, it's never a good thing because then you can't make decisions, nothing is agreed upon, and things just fall apart. You can ask 2015 Death Punch. But yeah, they split up because I guess because somebody couldn't make a decision or something like that. I don't remember. I don't know the whole story. I'm pretty sure there's a whole Reddit page dedicated to that. So yeah, and it's a shame to see Strangled go. It really was, because the lead singer just had such a raw, like I mentioned, Brian Garris has nothing on this lead singer. So it was just so raw and so angry. Like if I was pissed off, just feeling very one day, I could just put on Strangled. And of course I can go to their archives on YouTube and look up their music, because of course they're not on any streaming platforms and I'm too broke to buy a CD. So but yeah, it's just a shame to see them go. I wish they had stuck around. I wish they had gotten along better. But I want to say they died around somewhere, probably around 2021. I don't know. Could be wrong. So yeah, Strangled. Come back, please. Alright, coming in at number 1, we have Plagues. A lot of you might not know what this band is, but they were a metalcore / deathcore outfit from the UK. A masked, unanimous outfit. Kind of like in the style of, say, Sleep Token, except actual metal. So this one hits a little closer to home because I was actually involved with Plagues. I was part of their street team back in, I want to say, 2021, 2022. I left their street team because I had a full-time job. I just could not devote my time to doing what I needed to do within that group. And it was a mutual thing. We left on mutual terms. It wasn't bad. Nothing bad happened. But time went on, and Plagues released an EP called Book of the Daywalker, Volume 1. And it was just a collection, I think, of either 5 or 6 songs. And they released a couple other songs. They were trying to, delve more or dive more into their lore, their story, flesh that out. The main lead singer, known as Osorio, when the group first started, had a couple of appearances and name changes. He went from this creepy ghoul type mask thing to a bird demon looking thing, and then ultimately, before the group disbanded, to a skull and a nice dress suit type thing. And he went from being known as Osorio to Xylothra, I think, if I remember correctly. They took a small hiatus between, I want to say, November and January of the year of like 2021. That was like right after their EP had dropped. So they did that, and then they released Timeless, which you've already heard. And it was their mix of metalcore and deathcore. Then they went straight to deathcore with a song called Hell. And they released ballads, all the 9 yards. They even released a lo-fi album of their EP. By the time that lo-fi was really reaching its peak in popularity. A guy I know, mutual person I know that was in the band, or not in the band itself, but worked with the band in the street team, contacted me one day and saying, it's like, hey, if I have any of, like, say, any quote-unquote keys to, like, any of the social media platforms, then I need to hand them over because the group has disbanded. And it's kind of a shocker to me because they were on the cusp of releasing their first studio album. Now, Plagues themselves were not a band under a label. They were independent. So a lot of their stuff was self-funded. I was like, I don't have anything. I hate to hear that. He's like, you know, you can still visit their stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, none of their music's being taken down. And so Plague fans like myself and the people who work close with the group will never know what could have been. So the reason that I was given for their breakup was the fact that they were not reaching the right type of people. That being that they did a lot of their promotion on TikTok. And if you were on TikTok between the time of, like, say 2021, 2023 or 4, that you saw probably, if you know, a lot of, like, live streams of the lead singer Osorio, or in this case at that time known as Xylothra, sitting there by a fire, surrounded by a bunch of, like, creepy, like, wooden little miniature looking things. I don't know what to call them. Relics, I guess. But a lot of people accuse them of being like an actual cult, because they did reference themselves as a cult, but it was not in the terms of like an actual cult. It was just all show. They were theatrical. They are a theatrical metalcore. So they were not reaching the right type of people. Their audience was metalcore, or like alt scene, I guess. They weren't reaching the right type of people, and the people they were reaching, like I mentioned, I actually believe they were a cult. They were satanic. That it was an actual religion when it was not. And just the fact that, like I mentioned before, they were an independent group. They released a lot of music within a time period, like a certain time period. I want to say within 1.5 months to 2, and they just, you know, funding fell apart, so they pretty much had to call it quits. So that was a shame to see them go, and I hate that they did go, because like I said, they had some potential. We never know what could have been. We just got an EP and a handful of other songs. So, yeah, rest in peace, Plagues. It was great knowing you, and I hate to see you go. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the 5 bands that I mentioned. Do you miss them? Do you not miss them? Do you think they actually died too early? Do you think there's a chance they might come back? You know, stuff like that. It really helps out the channel a lot. I'm trying to get more involved with these YouTube videos. So if you can do that for me, that would mean a lot to me. I appreciate it. And I want to give a special huge shout out to Ellaville Consignment Shop for letting me film my opening bit in their location. So thank you guys for that. And with that, I'm going to go. I'm going to call it from here. I'm hungry and I might take a nap. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next Metal Madness reviews. Rock on.